group, and the gentleman giving lead tonight I have not heard, but I know he has quite a long length of sobriety, so I'm looking forward to hearing his lead. Please welcome to the podium our friend Don.
What's your last initial, Don?
I'll get right to that. Good evening, everyone. My name is Don Ring.
All right.
I am an alcoholic, an addict, a thief, a liar, an all-around son of a bitch. But I'm in recovery, and I'm getting better every day. My sobriety date is May 30th, 1989. I was 25 years old. I have an allergy to alcohol and drugs. When I use alcohol and drugs, I break out in handcuffs. My mother died when I was 12 years old, and I wanted to run away. I wanted to get as far away as I could, but at that age, where could I run to and what could I do? So ended up, I found a way to run away, and I didn't have to leave. I found drugs and alcohol, and I used them as much as I could to kill the pain, is what I thought was pain, and I thought I was having a good time. Before I started using the drugs and alcohol, I was a good student, a good athlete, and a pretty good kid. But once I started using that, none of that mattered. Grades didn't matter, sports didn't matter, girls didn't matter, people didn't matter. Nothing mattered to me but getting high and getting drunk. I got to high school, and I was not a good person when I was in high school. I was one of those people that you hear the story about someone having their own chair in the principal's office. I did. They would take me to the office and tell me to sit in my chair. And that principal there, I thought that man hated me. I put that man through 4 years of living hell. I was the worst, probably worst student he ever had. If I could do something wrong, I did it, and I didn't give a damn what he thought or anything about it. So when I got out of high school, I'm sure he was probably glad that I left. But my alcohol and drug addiction was bad. So my thinking in my head was, I need to change my scenery. I need to change what I'm doing. So I thought I'll join the Army. So I went and joined the Army, thinking that that would change my drinking and drugging. Well, let's just say that did not change that. I kept drinking and drugging. I was a good soldier, but I was a bad alcoholic. But I didn't want to admit that. They actually came to me one day and told me I had a problem, that they thought that I was an alcoholic. And I'm like, I'm not an alcoholic. I'm 21 years old. I'm not an alcoholic. An alcoholic in my head, this is what I thought, was some old man sitting in an alley, drinking out of a paper bag, sleeping under a bridge, some homeless old guy. That's what my concept of an alcoholic was, and I wasn't an alcoholic. Okay, I admit I might have drank a little too much sometimes or used a little too many drugs, but I wasn't that bad. At least I didn't think so. Uncle Sam had other ideas about that. And I didn't know you could get fired from the Army. I found out you can. And they informed me that they were going to give me a discharge. And I got a general to honorable discharge for alcoholism. And I was told to leave. And when I got out, I decided, well, I'm just going to go other places. I'm going to try to fix this, I'm going to go other places. People don't know me. I'm going to start over again. And I did all of those things that all of us alcoholics do. Oh, I know I drink too much, so I'm only going to drink on Friday. Or I'm only going to drink beer. Or I'm only going to smoke marijuana. I'm only going to drink on my days off. These things, I kept saying I was going to do all these things. None of them worked. Absolutely nothing stopped me from my alcohol and drugs. I was going to do them. I was going to do them as much as I wanted to. And I did. The reality was starting to set in, though. I'm not a violent drunk. I'm an evil drunk. I'm a terrible, terrible person when I drink and do drugs. I am the type of person that will rob you, leave you naked in the street, and kick you as I walk by. I had no care. I'm the person that would steal your wallet and help you look for it. I mean, this is the way I lived. You didn't want to know me when I drank. I didn't have friends. I didn't have a family. Friends and family were things that I used, and they were just there for me to get whatever I wanted. I was a sociable drinker. If you had something that I wanted, I was sociable. I could drink wine with the winos and Cavassier with the rich. It didn't matter to me. I was going to do what I wanted to do. Women, I used every woman I ever had at that point for whatever I could get, as long as it did something for me. I have an addictive personality, and that's one of the things is that addictive personality, we all have it. I like to drink, I got drunk. I like to get high, stuck needles in my arms. I like to eat, I married a chef. This is the things that I do. I'm an addict to everything. I'm an addictive personality. I found that this higher power that I did not believe in, I didn't believe in any God, I didn't believe in anything like that. I had a God. I had two of them. They came in a needle and a bottle, and I prayed to them every day. This was what I had for a God. There was no God out there. God couldn't be out there for the things that I'd seen, the stuff that I'd been through, everything that had gone on. There's no damn God in this world. Why would I even want one? If I even wanted him to, in the ending part of my alcoholism, all I wanted to do was die, and he couldn't even do that for me. But he had a sense of humor. I found that out. He had a sense of humor. I had made that comment about what I thought an alcoholic and a drug addict was, sitting in that alley, drinking out of a bag, sleeping under bridges. Guess what? He decided I could do that for 2 years. Found myself homeless for 2 years in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. I lived in a box behind a bar. I slept under a bridge when it rained. I did my laundry in the ocean. And I lived that way for 2 years, drinking out of that bag, sitting on a step. That was my life. Still didn't think I was an alcoholic or a drug addict. Still thought that I could change it whenever I wanted to. But that was not the case. I couldn't change it, no matter how hard I tried. My addiction and my drugging, my drinking was so bad that at one point I decided I was going to go home. So I went back to Detroit, my home, and I continued to drug and drink and not care about anything. And it was getting really bad. It had gotten to the point that I was drinking a fifth of whiskey, cases of beer. I had my whole setup every morning with my fifth, my beer, my weed, and my heroin all ready to go. Every morning I had it all set up. And that's what I did. And I got to the point where I was taking heroin and whiskey and I was mixing it together and shooting it in my neck. I was sick, but I didn't know why I was sick. I didn't know what the sickness was. It's later that I found out that drinking and drugging is only symptoms of my disease. The real disease is between my ears. And that was my problem, and I didn't know it. So it got to the point where I don't remember this. I don't remember a lot about it, but I'll lead to this. My life was unmanageable. 9 car wrecks. Come on, people. I drove off a mountain outside of Wheaton, West Virginia, and landed in a tree. I got a DUI on a stolen police horse in Detroit. Fact. 9 car wrecks, and I never got a DUI for any one of those. But I got a DUI on a stolen police horse, and I got a DUI on a bicycle. I got hit by a parked car. Only 2 DUIs I ever had, but times were different back then. A lot of these police officers, they really were. A lot of these police officers would say, if you can walk, you can go home. Park it and walk home. And I did. There also used to be a law in Michigan years ago where if you could get your driveway, they couldn't ticket you. My house had an alley around the back and then a driveway that went all the way around the front. I used to race the cops to the house and then ride around the house and wave at them. These were the things that I did. But in that ending, as I was coming down this road, that crash was coming. That bottom was starting to show. And they tell you that we all had a bottom. Someone forgot to explain to me that mine had a basement. And when I got to it, I don't remember this night. I don't remember it. All I know was I woke up the next morning and I was in the Wayne County Jail in downtown Detroit. Now, I had been arrested many times, and I figured this was another simple one of those public intox, maybe indecent exposure or something like that, being in an alley or something. I got arrested, I was drunk and disorderly. I'm just going to pay a fine and I'm going to go home. They started reading off the charges, and I knew I wasn't going home. I was not going home. I started to go through, at the Wayne County Jail, through DTs and dope sickness at the same time. It was horrible. It's one of the most horrible things that you could ever have. And it was so bad that I had black in my eyes. I had busted my lips. I was tearing at the skin on my arms. That they strapped me to a bed for my own protection. And kept trying to help me as best they could, because I was gone through all these things. And I kept thinking in my head, just give me a drink and this will go away. It'll go away. But they wouldn't do that. Thank God they didn't. And I'll say this to honesty. Them arresting me that night saved my life. 100% saved my life. I was 90 pounds. I was sick. I was literally had died. I just hadn't gotten in the coffin. Through all of that, I still wanted to drink and get high. I really did. I stood in front of the judge. And that judge told me that I was going to go to prison for 5 years without the possibility of parole, and I had a 15-year tail. Because my crime was a felony with a firearm. And I was not good for what I did. So they sent me to the maximum security prison at Jackson, Michigan. Let me tell you what, that place is a hole. That place is a hellhole. And then going in there, let's just say they had 3 of us and something the size of that bathroom over there. And we lived in there 23 hours a day. We got a shower once a week. We had to sleep in shifts because the rats like to climb into the bed with you. So we had to watch for rats. That place was a horrible, horrible place. But while I was there, a man came up to me. I love him today. His name's Danny F. And he came up to me. He said, I know what your problem is. Okay, well, I was confused. I'm like, I don't even know what my problem is. So how does he know what my problem is? He told me, if you come and listen to me tonight, I can help you. But if you don't like what I have to say, you can leave at any point. Now, I'd like to tell you that was my first AA meeting, and I went there because I wanted to get sober and clean, right? Bullshit. That ain't why I went there. I went there because I got an hour out of my cell and I was going to get cookies and coffee. That's why I went there. Had nothing to do with wanting to be sober. But when I sat in that meeting, I listened, and I didn't leave. And Danny came up to me after that meeting and he said, well, you didn't leave. You must have liked what I had to say. I looked him right in the face and said, I hated everything you said. I hated everything he said. Because everything he said, he could have put my name on it. Everything. And there was something in that room that I didn't understand, but I wanted to. How can we be in this hellhole of a place? And these people were smiling, joking, talking with people from the outside, acting like this was just another normal day. And I couldn't understand that. I didn't know what that was, and I wanted to. I wanted to know, how can you act like this in this hellhole? I know now why, because they had found the one thing that I hadn't yet. So I continued to go to those meetings. And I continued to go, and I continued to go, and I started working the program of Alcoholics Anonymous. And I broke down one night in that cell, and I cried about as hard as I've ever cried in my life. Because I didn't want to be like that no more. I wanted to be sober. For the first time in my life, I truly wanted to be sober. So I went through that 5 years. I got my parole. And I was scared to death. I was terrified. I had stayed sober behind the bars. Now I was going to have to go out in the streets. And I was scared to death. And I got out. And I got off that bus. And I had 2 choices. I can turn right, and I can go to the crack house and to the liquor store. Or I can turn left, and I can go to the church where the meeting was. I'd like to tell you all that I turned left immediately, and that's how I did it. I didn't. I wanted to go that way. Everything wanted to pull me that way. But I didn't. I went to that church. I opened up them doors. I walked through those doors, and he played another trick on me. There was that principal that I put through 4 years of living hell, standing there. And he walked up to me, he put his arms around me, and he said, I prayed you'd find these rooms. He became my first sponsor. I loved him very much. His name was Leo Clark. I can say his name. He's gone now. One person in this room met my first sponsor, Gary T. Met Leo Clark. He was a hard-nosed, recovering alcoholic, old school as they came. And let me tell you, he didn't let up on me any way, shape, or form. He took a big book, he handed it to me, and he said, read this. So I read it cover to cover. And I told him that. And I stood there, and he's like, "Did you get everything out of it?" I said, "Yes." He told me to read it again. I read it again. "Did you get everything out of it?" I said, "Yeah, I've got everything." Read it again. I don't know how many times he told me that, but I finally figured out what the answer was. He said, "Did you get everything out of it?" I said, "No. Every time I read it, I learn something new." He said, "There's the right answer. Now you're starting to follow the program of Alcoholics Anonymous." Didn't believe in that God yet, but I was believing in a conscience of the program, and I started to follow that. I had this conversation earlier with Richard about those first 3 steps. We think they're so important in this program that we say them twice in how it works. And it's real simple. I can't, he can, I'm going to let him. Suddenly I started to let him. And my life was getting better. My life was getting really good. And I moved. One of the things that was in Detroit too, that we'd have 100 and some people at a meeting. He wanted me to shake hands with every person that came in, shake hands with every person that left, and clean up and everything else, dump ashtrays, and these are the things that I did. At the end, if anybody stands with me for the Lord's Prayer, I was always taught as a kid, when you pray, you put your head down and you close your eyes. So I did that. And I'm standing there, and I felt the worst pain on the back of my neck that I have ever felt in my entire life. Leo Clark had smacked me on the back of the neck. He said, "That's half your problem. You're praying to the wrong guy. Put your head up and look up and see where you're going." When I do Lord's Prayer every time now, I look up. I want to see where I'm going. I want to know what's in front of me. I don't want to hide anymore. So I came here to St. Mary's, Ohio, and really didn't know anybody. First meeting I went to was a Thomas Howard group. We could still smoke in those meetings. And I was around the program, but I stopped working it. I didn't work the program like I should have because I didn't want to drink. I didn't want to get high. I was starting to get to the point where I didn't think I needed Alcoholics Anonymous. I came to a meeting over here, and a little old lady at the end of the meeting got up, walked over to me, and this is her exact words. And this is what she told me. "If you don't pull your fucking head out of your ass, you're gonna die. You're gonna fucking die." I'm like, why is this little old lady yelling at me? What did I do? But at that point, I walked away. I took a 5-year sabbatical from this program. I didn't drink. I was dry. I walked away for that 5 years and I was dry. But I wasn't thinking of drinking at the time. But then again, though, as I was away for that 5 years, my life started getting worse. There's nothing worse than being a dry drunk that doesn't drink and doesn't have a program. And I was more miserable than I was in that hellhole in Jackson, Michigan. I was getting really bad to the point I knew I was going to drink and use drugs again. And I wasn't going to live that way. So I sat in my living room. I stuck a shotgun under my chin. And I was going to end this. I was not going to live that way. The only thing that stopped me from pulling that trigger was that little boy and that lady in the next room who would have found me. And I didn't do it. I went that next day to the New Bremen meeting. At that time it was on Wednesday nights. It was a men's meeting. I walked in there and I was done. I was so done. And I walked up to Gary T. I asked him would he sponsor me again. He told me he'd be my temporary sponsor. He still is. my temporary sponsor, and I love him with all my heart. I'd have done anything that night. But the one thing he told me, and I take it with me every day now, he told me, you can't sit at the tables of Alcoholics Anonymous. You have to get involved in the tables of Alcoholics Anonymous. You have to become a part of this program. You have to work with it. You have to be around other alcoholics. You have to go to meetings. You have to use your sponsor. You have to do all of these things. And then he told me something that was very important to me. I had to make a second surrender. I had to get down with my God and surrender again. Tell him that I can't. No more. He has to take over this. He's got to do this. I can't. I got off the ground running. I've been a part of this program ever since. I do everything that I can. Now lately, because of work and my wife being sick, I don't get to as many meetings as I want to. But I don't stop working this program. I work it every day. I work the 12 steps of Alcoholics Anonymous in my daily life every day. I get up. I thank God for another day. That's what I do. My worst day sober is 100 times better than my best day drunk. I don't care what they throw at me. I don't care what comes at me. It's still better because I didn't drink or use. So I had a good day. I came to give a lead here, over there, in that church, and it was snowing horribly that night, piling up. There were 5 of us at that meeting that night, and I gave my lead, and one of them was that little old lady that was yelling at me. I love that lady now more than anything in the world. Her name was Jan Lehman, and she's with me right now. This was Jan Lehman's big book. As you can tell, it's nicotine stained and old and everything like that. But I bring her to every lead. Because when I finished that lead, she leaned into me and said the sweetest thing that anyone has ever said to me. She said, it's about time you pulled your fucking head out of your ass. And anybody that knew Jan Lehman, that's the way she was. She didn't hide it. She was blunt at everything she did. And I knew at that point that she didn't hate me. That lady loved me. She didn't want me to fail. She wanted more than anything in the world to see me succeed in this program. And I have. And I love it. And I do anything that I can. And I stand in these meetings and I look around at these faces. And I look for that spark in people's eyes. And you can tell when you're looking at another alcoholic when they have it. When the program is there. When it truly is. You want to know how you become an old-timer in this group? Don't drink and don't die. That's how it works. That man tells me you don't drink if your ass falls off. And if your ass falls off, pick it up and keep going. I have learned so much in this program. Don't just go to the meetings. Show up. Enjoy the fellowship. Talk to other alcoholics. Perfect example for me tonight. Diener and I, we have three meetings tonight. The meeting in the car to get here, the meeting now, and the meeting on the way home. And that's a special thing. Use it. If you haven't got a sponsor, get one. And don't just get one to say you have one. Use them. Talk to them. Speak to them. Tell them what's going on. Spend time with them when you can. Do those things. And this program works. But it only works if you want it to. My name's Don Ring, and I'm an alcoholic.
I'm Greg, alcoholic.
Greg.
Thanks, Don. Wow, what a powerful lead, and what a great message. Really appreciate it. It's customary to open up for comments from the floor.
My name's Wes. I'm an alcoholic.
Oh, Wes.
That was well structured, accomplished. Made me feel a lot of things. Yeah. I felt like, well, I must have been moved somewhere. This must be an international conference or something. And they put up the best speaker they could find. It was a wonderful message, and I'm glad you're around.
Thank you, my
That's
friend.
There's Wes.
I'm Dwayne, I'm an alcoholic.
Hey, Dwayne.
Don,
Dwayne?
it's been a while since I heard you. That was a very good lead once again, as it always is. And a lot of the things you had go on in your life were there for me too. I just never landed up in prisons and stuff. Shit goes to hell if you keep letting it go the way you think you got it handled. And thanks for your lead.
Thank you.
Dwayne.
Thanks,
Merchant alcoholic.
Hi, Richard.
Thanks, Don. I don't think I've heard you lead before, but I've talked to you before, and the thing I related to is this, when you're talking about being dry. Unfortunately for me, I had to get drunk again before I hit my bottom. Um, I remember that 10 days of drunkenness very well. Started on a Thursday night and went to karaoke, closed down the bar, went back on Friday. Saturday and Sunday I was drinking them, all day, every day, and all week. And then I realized there's nothing that a drink is gonna make better. It's not gonna bring the girlfriend back. It's not gonna get me out of this living situation. There's a whole story behind it, but I realized that there's nothing that's gonna be better. So and because of my years and years of being in and out of the program, I called my sponsor. We hadn't spoken in months because he was we had some falling out, and he came and picked me up anyway and took me to a meeting because that's what we do. That's very very powerful lead. Um, I wasn't expecting the principal to be in the program. That's a nice little twist there.
He had 50 years of sobriety when he died.
Is that right?
And he actually knew Bill W.
I enjoyed that lead. Thanks, Tom.
I'm Tom, alcoholic.
Tom.
Oh, thank you, Don. When I got sober, you were here. I don't remember you real well. I just remember seeing you with an eye patch on. That irritated me for some reason. I don't know. But we stayed sober together, and we're here today.
Yes, we are.
Thanks for giving a lead.
Yeah, I'm Tony, alcoholic.
Tony.
Don, it's been a few years since I've seen you. When I first came into this program, I don't know, 10, 12 years ago, he was one of them people that gave a lead that kind of kept me. There's a few of these old timers or old guys around here when I first got started. Really enjoyed your lead, enjoyed your honesty, and I'm really glad I came tonight. So I appreciate your lead and hope to see you soon, okay?
You will, my friend.
Thanks, Tony.
Thanks, Don.
I'm Gary, an alcoholic.
Hey, Gary.
Hi, Gary.
Well, Don, that's a good lead. I've heard you several times. Be sober, life goes on. Learn how to live life in life's terms. It's funny how God works in your life. Even when you don't know He's working. And I think we had to take every drink that took us to be here today. If I had one less drink, I don't know if I'd be here. Sometimes we can be around AA but not in AA. There's a hell of a difference, and I went through a pretty dry time. I tell you what, I think that's worse than being the dry time is worse than being a wet drunk. Cause I'm doing all the insanity in my head, not drinking. And I think that third step was key for me. When I finally found out what that higher power was and what his will was, and I surrendered to that, I think my life changed. But I kept coming back. That's what I had to do. I kept coming back because I knew that all my answers from what I was looking for was around the tables of AA. So one thing about AA, we don't lie to nobody. We tell them the truth, and if they don't like it, that's the problem. If we tell them the truth, just go to meet, just keep coming back, and something good will happen to you. I can't tell you when that happens. It happens. So I just want to thank you for being my friend. That's all.
Gary?
Steve Alcoholic.
Steve.
Well, my friend, it's been a while. No, I saw you last night. And from time to time, we run into, I would be on my way back through St. Mary's and stop at Mickey D's and grab something to go. And a couple of times I'd run into you in there with one of your dogs you're training and stuff. It's been 32 years since I since I showed up around Mercer County. I don't think you were back around here. I think it was a little bit later than that, right? Doesn't matter. You're still here. You're sober. And every time I see you, you sit there. And most leads I've heard you say, first time I showed up that Tom's Higher Group meeting in St. Mary's, he said, there's two guys that were there that are still in the program that when they showed up. And that's this guy and me. And even though I don't call you that much or talk to you that much as you're my sponsor, we're still sober because because of the way our lives have gone. And your lead tonight was great. I haven't heard that for a while, but you told me last night, you said it's been, what, 4 years since you've given a lead?
Since before COVID.
Yeah, before COVID, yeah. And, it's good. It's good to see. I remember those days when you had that eye patch on there. I remember that.
Yeah, when I was going blind.
Oh, hell yeah. Oh, but you got through it. You got through a lot of shit. If it wasn't for this program, your higher power, your ass wouldn't be here today. Your ass would not be here today. And same with me. And same with all of us. If we wouldn't be in these meetings and faith in a higher power whom we choose to call God, your understanding, we wouldn't be here either. We only have today. That's what we got. And I'm just glad to be here today and hear you lead. I thought I was going to miss it tonight because I thought I was going to have to make an early morning run tomorrow, but my delivery time got changed on that. It still delivers tomorrow, but instead of 9 o'clock, it goes to 11. So I'm like, okay, that's fine. I can do that. No big deal.
No, he changed it, right?
Well, yeah. It had something to do with it. You're right. Well, that's all I got. Thanks, Don, for a good lead.
Thanks,
I'll
Steve.
talk to you later.
Thank you, my friend. Y'all will talk.
Oh, yeah.
I'm Nathan. I'm an alcoholic. I
Thank you.
really liked your lead, Don. And like also, my prayers out to your wife, just so you know. But very, very good.
Hey, Nate.
Thank
I'm
you,
Gary.
Nate.
I'm Gary and I'm an alcoholic.
Jerry.
How are you, you old fart?
Oh.
You mentioned Jan Lehman. That was my brother's sister. I had many drinks with her. You think about it, that's been a long time ago. You know, everybody was leaving, we'd still be sitting there. So, I like your lead. I only heard it once before, and that's been quite a while. Glad to hear it. Thank you.
Thank you, my friend.
Sir.
I'm Russ Alcoholic.
Russ.
Donnie love seeing you at meetings, man. I love listening to your lead tonight. You know, I first started seeing you in Mendon every Saturday morning back in the 2015 to 2019, and you always have something to say that hits me for some reason. You know, every time you speak, something speaks to me, and I know that's your higher power speaking to my higher power, telling me. And I appreciate everything you do for the program. You're always very welcoming. You always give me, you know, good words to go by. You always give me something good to think about, and you're just always very supportive of everyone that I hear you come across. And just thank you for being yourself and for being as good in this program as you can and helping me, and I'm sure helping a lot of other people, and I appreciate you, Don.
Thanks, Russ.
Thank you, Russ.
Thanks, Russ.
Marvin Lockhart.
Hey, Marvin.
Thanks for your lead on it. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Marvin.
Thanks, Marvin.
Well, Paul, I'm an alcoholic.
I was waiting.
This is Don, thank you, sir. It's first time I heard you, I enjoyed it. Made me think of my first DUI was up in Detroit. I was in that jail downtown there.
Wonderful place, ain't it?
Lost the company car, woke up, pants full of piss. Boss had to come and get me out of jail. It's a terrible time. But thank you, Don. You're a awesome man. I'm glad I met you. So glad I have. Like Russ, I first met you at Mendon as well. You know, thanks, sir.
It's boy.
Thanks, Paul.
Hey, Paul. I'm Dwayne. I'm an alcoholic.
Really?
He mentioned Detroit, made me think of the first time Mulder sent me there. And I got off the interstate, and the next first turn was a left, and next was a right, and there was bars on all the windows all the way to the place I got to. You may have been there. It's ice cream place. And I pulled up to the gate, and the guard, don't get out. Wait till the gate opens and get in here. And it had barbed wire all the way around that fucking place. I was like, man, Donnie ain't no shit. This is a fucking nasty town. That's all I got.
Thanks, man.
Still my home.
Orange alcoholic. Real quick, what I identified as your lead is Gary is also still my temporary sponsor.
He's a good one.
Jack Reyes was going
I
on
knew
13
you
years.
as a sponsor.
Anyone else? Okay, if not, we'll close with the Our Father.
Hard to get up.
Hard getting up.
Couch.
That's what I'm thinking.
And it reclines out.
Just finally got sat down.
Oh,
Yeah.
My lord, I don't want to do that.
Okay.
Don, you would take us out, please?
Who kept us sober today?
Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory forever. Amen.
Keep coming back. It's worth it. It's just easier if you stay.
I wouldn't stick around till you call me. I got to
Nope, that's not the
Take care.
Yeah.
Tell him my
Oh, it is.
brother.
That's why you don't have to do Thanks so much.
Hey, Don, can I record your message tonight?
You are welcome to. I actually want a copy.
Alright, well, it'll be online, so you can get a copy there.
Yeah, you can point me in the right direction.
Sure. Hey, Gary.
How you doing? Good. You got your phone in you?
Huh?
You got your phone in you? Man,
I did.
You get your YouTube?
Yeah.
I'll show you where it is. Where it'll be. By midnight tonight, every time I can get home and get it online.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll do that after the meeting. We'll get everything together.
It's good, man.
Yeah. Get over here. Yeah, I knew you were gonna go there.
Receipt.
Oh man, I might fall asleep right here. This goes light. This is nice. I lay back, man. It's like, oh damn, this is like being in bed. Let me turn my phone off before I think about it.
I will. I'll screw.
What do I got? I got a message. What's the message?
We'll take some of these and give them to St. Mary's group on Monday night. They don't have any. I think we got a bunch from the others somewhere.
Oh, saline. Some bunch of,
What?
all bunch of news and saline.
Things are nice until you have to get up off them.
Yeah.
How you doing?
Good.
Good.
You want my website page?
Sure, hang on 1 minute. I'm answering a message here.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
Take your call.
Let's see here.
I wonder if it'd be alright if we just let this thing set up. I'll call, just leave it set up. I'll call them this week sometime.
We're gonna take this room over?
Here, I'll grab that. Just type in the page.
Oh,
I got it set up. Just type it in there. Yeah, my wife handed me the phone, so I'm like Gary probably forgot I sleep during the day because I work nights. I'm like, yeah, that's no problem. You go get Richard. Oh God, I gotta get stretched.
You want me helping you?
Yeah.
I'll do it. You told me it was the tie, you know. Okay?
It's a hurricane kinda. Other than that, I have a history. I have water or something in it.
Still taking that medication? Helping you?
Yeah.
Richard? Is it helping you?
Yeah, everyone's had her smooth out.
Doesn't sound like it.
I'm not shooting up there. There's still water and down there. We'll see Dr. Tuesday.
Tuesday?
Dr. Redeem, yeah.
Is he gonna give you new medication?
Don't know, don't know. He might.
Sure.
Doesn't different already.
Supposed to rain tonight. at St. Mary's, wasn't he?
I'm sorry?
Father Wilt,
Hey,
he was
Paul.
at St. Mary's, wasn't he?
Yes, he was.
Scary.
I was there on Saturday,
You're doing great.
Good, Paul.
put that 4:30 mass.
Hey, buddy. Oh, hold on,
How you
Rick.
doing, Paul?
I'm doing
Grandma
terrific.
recorder with
Hey,
you?
my friend. Sorry about that.
Yeah, we
dude.
got starting
I
next
didn't even
week.
think
We
about
got
it
a
until I
priest
got here
that
and didn't
was
see
just
your ugly
ordained.
mug.
Oh, did he?
Oh.
Starts
Why?
next week.
It was Wednesday. What is that?
Did
for?
you
At
ever
your,
use
at
it?
your
I never
same
used it.
parish?
You never even
St.
looked
Mary's?
at it? No.
And I don't
Baby, I told
I'll
you
do
to
this.
learn how to use it so
Yeah.
you can, so you wouldn't even know how to use it when you
Oh,
got
I-
here.
Picture.
Hey,
I'm just, I appreciate
Richard?
it.
No, no,
How
I
you doing?
apologize. I really do. I felt bad.
Richard.
Oh, I didn't
How are you?
use it. My first one I
Hi,
did.
Greg.
Hi, Richard.
How are you?
Good.
Hi, Tom.
Hey, buddy.
Hi,
Good to see you.
Good to see you, Paul. This was
You
great.
too. Got everything
Oh,
over here.
so
Huh?
there.
What?
Got everything over here. Huh?
Yeah.
I'll be right in the center. Uh-oh, I won't be able to get up.
Go right
Keep me
home.
from getting up before the meeting starts and going to paper again.
You won't
right?
want to get up.
Richard gonna get stuck.
No, I'll get up.
Hey, Gary, did you order them coins?
I got some.
Hey, Mr.
Yeah.
Don.
You said you got 4 of them, Paul?
You what?
You got 4 of them?
I got 4 of them. I got 4 of them from Dave Tuesday night.
There's a bunch right here. I'll be there Monday night.
Oh,
Biggest time I know.
And then I'll check and I'll see if we can order
I'm
them.
gonna open up that meeting one day.
In North
What?
Carolina.
I'm gonna open up the meeting
Florida.
Monday.
Oh, yeah?
and
Yeah.
Ohio.
Here, Paul.
Gary's not gonna be there, and Nate's not gonna be there. So I got the key from Nate yesterday.
Yeah, oh, did he?
Yeah, so I'm opening it up Monday.
You want the key back, Steve?
Yeah. Steve's sure next month.
Yeah, he didn't know if he was gonna make it tonight because he's gotta work in the morning.
Why?
He's gotta be to work at like 3 o'clock. I talked to him last night.
You need to read something, Greg?
Sure.
I like how it works. If you want to bring it to me.
I'll read that on there. Except the traditions. No, I got it. I'm kidding.
What?
I'm kidding. No, you didn't hear me.
He give you the promises?
Oh no, I said I'll read anything.
But the
you give me,
tradition.
and then he handed me the tradition. I
Flyer
read
too
it
for you.
yesterday.
What's that?
I got a flyer for you too.
My favorite one's the promises.
Oh,
That's the one I do.
Yeah, I like how it works because I got it memorized. You don't even need to look at it.
The most important thing I always tell, and I tell people when I sponsor them too, when you read the how it works. We're so important on those first 3 steps that we list them twice.
Yeah.
And that's what I try to tell people. Those are the most important 3 steps in this program, or we wouldn't have listed them twice.
Right. And the continued
Let's hope I
inventory.
don't do what I did last night, Don, and vape in the dang building.
Did you really?
I did.
Where's that?
I did. I went outside because I was having texting conversations, and I went there, so it wasn't disrupting the meeting.
Right.
And I came back in and sat down in that back row. And I went. Smoke blew over Steve's head. I'm like, uh-oh. And the Spencer guy saw me, and he started laughing. It was funny.
I wondered why you were in the back row.
Because I went out and came back in. I didn't want to disrupt the meeting.
I thought that was. See, it used to be the meetings years ago. we used to smoke.
Yeah.
And
smoke,
Thomas Howard, remember the gantry down there, the smoking gallery?
Oh, it's
Okay,
horrible.
yeah,
Oh my God, you couldn't even see in that thing. There was so
You
much
just sit
smoke.
out of focus at night.
Wasn't those the days, man? I liked the day back
And
then.
that's back when I smoked too.
Yeah,
And
yeah, me too.
I'd be down there smoking and everything. And then you'd have Jan right there by the door with her
Yeah.
oxygen tank and a cigarette in her mouth. I swear to God, I always thought one of these days we're going to hear a boom. There's going to be a boom outside and we want to know where Jan went.
Boy.
Yeah.
um,
Go jam.
I have her with me.
Oh,
That's her big book.
that's her big book? Alright.
I always bring it to every lead.
That's special. Yeah, you bring her with you.
I bring it to every lead.
Hey,
So
Charlie.
she can be a part of it.
We having the meeting in here?
No, it's in the other room.
Nope, it's in the closet down the
There's a
hall.
fly
You missed
there.
it.
Oh, shut up.
There's your sidekick right there, old Steve.
He just come out of the closet.
Yeah, I've known that for years. He keeps a couch in there.
Yeah, it's comfortable in here.
Early bird.
Hi, Richard. Hi, Tom.
Hi, Steve.
Steve, did you find somebody for the 26th yet?
Nope.
Can I switch to the 26th?
Sure.
Okay, because I got to go to, I'm going to the retreat that weekend on the 19th.
Your turn next month?
Yeah, unfortunately.
No, that's it's an honor, man.
It's not a shift, yeah.
Show 'em how you do it. You get one every week.
Yeah, I got 2 already.
There's guys right there. Those guys don't give you these right here. This guy does.
Beaner?
I need
One lead.
more than that.
You need to give them the lead. People need to hear it. I've heard your lead.
One lead. Make sure there ain't no kids in there.
Yep, I've
Yeah.
heard his lead. And I'm the first to say that he gives a
6-rated lead.
damn
That's what
good
that
one.
is.
Yeah, I bet so. You got a lot of gratitude. Keeps coming back. You gotta have something.
He gives a very good lead.
24, what is that? Steak and Roundup or Columbus Roundup?
Yeah.
What is it?
Old timers thing.
Okay, Steve, I put it in my calendar as the 26th now, so.
Okay.
So you said we're
I'm off
moving,
that
or
day.
we're meeting here every week?
Cool. Me? Oh.
Yep,
They were
that's
gonna meet
what
over
you
here.
did.
Oh, instead of over there.
Yeah.
Well, where's Al-Anon gonna meet? Oh, back over
They're out
there.
at the nursing home.
They won't let them meet back in the corner over there?
They made a decision to move out the nursing home.
That's alright.
She was upset.
What?
That lady was upset
Oh,
when
she
they
did.
made us move over here.
There's one meeting a week, and that's
Who is
Clayton.
how's Clayton doing? I haven't seen him for a long time. Take that back, I think I saw him a while back.
Richard gonna take a nap over there.
I told you, man. I sat down in this chair, man. I'm like, it's like being in bed. I'm about ready to go back to sleep. I just got up about an hour or so ago.
Did you sleep all day?
Well, yeah, I work all night.
He worked all day. He didn't like
You told me you didn't. You told me you didn't have to work last night.
I didn't have to work last night. That still doesn't mean I'm not on that schedule.
Oh.
It's kind of hard to go to sleep when you're used to being up at 4, 5, 6 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, I remember third shift.
Steve's used to sleep at truck stops.
Steve's used to sleeping anywhere where Steve sits down.
Let's put it this
I
way.
know that for a fact.
I can sleep anywhere. I'd have a hard time at first, but I can sleep in. I haven't slept in
32 years of sponsoring you, I know.
home to me.
Oh boy.
horrible for the country.
Yeah,
He
that's right.
has been horrible for the country.
Even
Hey,
with
hello,
that,
Marvin.
Howdy.
Oh my
Hey,
God, he
Marvin.
was so
Hi,
lost
Marvin.
in that debate. Trump kicked him, threw him down, kicked him again.
Yeah, he did. He did a good
Picked him
job.
back up, kicked him again. Oh, I love it.
How you doing?
That guy's an embarrassment to the rest of the world.
you know,
He's
Hi,
supposed
yeah,
to, he did
you
a
know,
rally in,
you know how you can tell us bad.
Yeah, he sounded good, didn't he? Had two teleprompters.
You know how you can tell us bad
who, Biden?
when
Yeah,
Joe
yeah,
Scarborough,
yeah, he-
Mika,
all his-
whatever,
All
Brzezinski,
the audience was
they sit
hate.
there
Oh,
and they
was
say
it?
it was
Wasn't
bad.
it?
It
Yeah,
was
you can
bad.
just tell
Marvin.
the way they
He didn't withdraw.
Huh?
cheered him.
Not gonna withdraw.
Well, it was
Obama's
Yeah,
not
he
gonna
read
win.
everything. That's why he looked that way and then that way. That's where his teleprompter
They don't want to change.
those were paid.
They don't want to change
Yeah,
candidates.
Obama's worried about one thing. He wants.
You can
he
tell a
wants
big
more
difference.
power.
I mean, I heard Trump.
Yeah.
Well, it's like if Sanders, Bernie Sanders,
I
he
heard
was
right.
leading that thing before Biden got a hold of it.
What is it?
They was gonna nominate him.
Bernie wouldn't have got that.
Hey, who's this guy?
Well, I haven't seen this guy in a long time. I got a lead of yours in my car.
How you doing?
What's your name?
I'm Nathan.
Oh, I
You
gave
recorded
you
me the
yours.
last-
I-
yep.
I gave you yours.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah, you gave it to me. I got it at home, so.
Yeah, it's online too.
Yep.
How you been?
Good, man.
How are you?
Good, buddy.
Yeah, Miss Nathan, you made it out the house tonight, huh?
Well, might as well. Girls ain't there. What's the point?
Yeah.
I slept till about 3 today this afternoon. I'm good.
Got to work tonight?
Yep.
Midnight, what, 1:30 to...
1 a.m. till 8 a.m. or a little after.
What is it, nobody wants to work that midnight shift?
No, I'm the only one that does that shift. Everybody
They
else
open
takes
24
over
hours
for
a
me.
day?
No, they open up at 3, close at midnight. Just gives me an hour and a half, 2 hours by myself to get stuff going. Somebody else comes in at 2:30.
Guy's pretty busy.
Yeah.
Right, that's good.
Especially on Fridays we get busy. And Saturdays it iffies. It varies. Didn't expect to see me twice in 1 week,
I know it.
huh? I dropped him off the key yesterday.
Yeah, Gary's gave me some more coins today.
He stopped by over at the splash pad right across from the clubhouse, and I'm not running over there again. I should just walk. I was in no hurry, really. We were just painting boards for the parade for us. We're gonna be in the
Fort
parade.
Lauderdale?
Huh?
Fort Lauderdale have parade, don't they?
Well, this is for the clubhouse.
Oh,
We're walking the parade up in Salina, so
no.
like we did last year.
What clubhouse?
It's through foundations up there in Salina. It's long-term recovery.
Really?
I go every Thursday night from 5 to 7.
There's a recovery clubhouse?
Yeah, it's just right across from the lake, right there by the playground splash pad.
Okay, I know where it's at.
Okay, I didn't know. That's cool.
I started going there through foundations, and then I was not with foundations anymore, but I can still go there.
They got meetings there?
It's just a group. Just a bunch of different, alcoholics, addicts, any kind of issue you're having. It's really a cool group.
Cool. Have to check it out.
It's long-term, so you can go as long as you want. Stop whenever. I just like it because there's other people around. So.
Comfortable.
Walk the parade, showing what
They were showing
show our sobriety, that kind of stuff.
they were showing highlights of
We
it.
hand out candy to all the kids and everything.
One
My
thing-
daughters were
The one that
watching
got
for me.
me
I mean, it's a long
was
walk.
it showed
It's a walk, but it's worth it.
the girl that she's a gymnast and won
You get
all
up,
the
Richard?
gold medals and stuff.
Is the couch
They
too
showed
low
right
for
at the
you?
very end, showed some of her moves and everything. I think she's like 25 now or 26, and they said, well,
Need help here?
it's back. It was kind of cool.
You got it, brother?
Huh?
You got it?
I'm sure Paul will help you out.
Yeah, I will. He's got it.
Good job.
Oh, buddy.
Yeah.
Back to keep you rested.
Right behind you.
Steve, do you want me to come over and help you up too?
Yeah.
I'll help Richard. I'll come over and grab your hand.
No, I don't need no damn help to get up.
I'm just kidding.
I'm not that.
We all support. Gary, you need help? No,
I'm
you
not
get
that
I'll get help.
desperate.
Gary said no.
He said he's still doing good.
Going to a concert on Monday with my parents up at the Phrase in Kettering. So.
All right, Kettering, Ohio?
Yeah.
Right.
It's a Phrase. It's an outdoor venue.
Yeah, they said advertising TV a lot now.
Oh yeah. They get a lot of there. We're
Yeah,
going for the
Beach-
Beach Boys, so.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Beach
Yeah.
Boys,
Yeah.
Beach Boys gonna be there first of July.
Yeah.
Lordy.
Yeah, we're going Monday.
I don't have to get a lead.
Got our tickets already.
85?
Beach Boys?
Yep. With John Stamos.
No, 85.
Apparently he's touring with them right now, like he hasn't been doing for years.
Yeah, he was. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why they were on Full House so much.
Yeah.
That's kind of guys with him, yeah.
They've been real close. And he does like keyboards, drums, guitar. I mean, pretty much, he's a man
I
of
heard
many,
he plays
many
his drums
talents.
on Kokomo.
Yeah.
Full country boy. Yeah, I like that.
So they're got
Hey,
tickets
Wes.
for that.
Oh,
I
Wes.
would love to go to Columbus.
Yeah.
Today's for Steve's coming.
Sorry.
Yes.
Wes.
Black Chicago gas.
That,
I just want to see a live. I've seen this. It would just be
Really?
good.
I seen it on.
And then there's this Steel City Con. I think it happened up in Chicago. It's like a comic
I'm an old man.
And I'm on Facebook. I follow it.
I feel like an old
And
man.
they just announced that.
Get up.
But I've already met him. I met him actually at the Phrase on his.
Yeah, pretty good
That's
for
all.
75, but.
I go anywhere.
75 is still 75.
I've never been like
I just got my
28.
signed card from Austin St. John again today from Fanboard. Yeah, it's Gold Ranger.
Yeah.
I know a
And
couple
you're
of
in
names.
pretty good shape.
Signs a bunch of them and.
Awesome. You know,
You have to work
So,
out,
I
or is it just
never
for work?
considered myself a country music fan, but I like stuff.
12 hours.
You know, like I say, I like guys.
What the hell do you do?
I work in the farm.
Farm.
Yeah, almost every month or so, paying $15 a month for Fanboard, you know, the celebrities that are involved in it, they'll send out signed cards. And I got one from him once as a Red Ranger. This one
Haven't
is
seen
a
your
Gold
one. How you
Ranger and
doing?
Zeo.
Not too bad. How you
And
been?
then I think Jeremy Stumper from the Peter Pan
No.
film, 2018 or whatever, when he was
Good.
younger. He's sending another
Better
one
than
next month.
better than the
Alternative.
better than the alternative.
Holland,
Yep.
she
They go
actually
around
played a
saying
girl
people
on
say,
Evil.
well, I'm old.
She's
and I'm grateful
she'll be
to
sending
still be
another
here.
one, and then starting next month, James
Old
will
is still old.
Big Time Rush.
Yeah, every morning you get up, you go.
And then we get, you know, all members, you know, the Mount Japan, I'm on, we get Zoom. So, if all the things Holland or James Maslin
I'll
or
marry
Zoom,
mine.
they send you an email link, and you click on it, and you
Did Wayne ever get his?
pretty much join the Zoom. And you can do it from the
Yeah, I was
laptop, you can do
gonna
it from
read.
your
I think
phone.
him and his daughter
You
did.
can hit Zoom on there,
Where are
and
they?
they see you, you see them.
Nobody ever mentioned it to me,
So
I never said nothing
it's
about it.
pretty cool. You get to talk to them.
Yeah, look at that. Well, hey, Donnie's, that's Donnie's chair. There's a chair right over there, Richard,
I'm not sharing this with any people. I found
next to
myself-
Tom.
Oh, he's gonna start rocking back and forth and.
Hey!
Russ, sit there.
Oh, Wes.
I almost want to sit in it, but then you guys would not, I wouldn't get up.
Hey, buddy.
Russ?
You can do your lead from the chair.
Including the seat.
Hi, Russ.
Hey.
How you doing, Russ?
Actually, it was just a.
Hey, Russ.
We were,
Hi, Russ. How you doing?
with
Good.
James. They were just in Paris.
This one open?
Barcelona. Yep.
It'll keep me humble.
Is it nap time or meeting time?
Yeah.
It's both.
When you sit down, it's gonna be nap time.
I mean, even though you're napping, you
Beautiful.
you can still hear. So
Yeah.
it still counts.
That's what I tell my wife when
Mercer
I'm in high
County
school.
Librarian.
Yeah, I'm awake.
All the libraries.
If I start snoring, just start throwing cookies
I
at
heard
me.
everything you said, I promise.
Yeah.
But don't you hate it when they come back at you and say, "So what did I say? Can you tell me everything I just said?"
I can.
Then you're screwed.
Everything you just said.
That's what I just said. See, I told you I heard you.
I knew that.
When did you start having a
I
meeting?
do that with my oldest. She'll come tell me
How's
something.
everybody doing?
Yeah, you. Well, you need to stop napping, Daddy. I'm like, you work all night long, and then tell me not to nap.
You a third shifter?
Yeah, 1 a.m. to 8 a.m.
How we doing?
I work in Fort Lauderdale.
Okay.
I work in Casey.
That's all right.
Gas
My
station.
comfortable chair up here.
I do the donut shift, so I do all the donuts and baked and production's going. I'm going to a concert Monday, so I gotta.
Good.
Good. The result wasn't what we wanted. It was
Oh, I just go walk back with you.
How you doing, my old friend?
Hey, how you doing? Good seeing you.
Peyton and his wife and my wife were
Good again, 24 hours.
We sat on the correct side of the stadium
I
because
guess I'll just sit right
we
over
were in the we were in the shade.
Where did you go?
We went to the Reds game last Saturday.
How was it?
Oh, really?
I mean they didn't win, but it was fun. It was a good game.
I had enough.
It's the most beautiful I've seen in that. But the stadium is well done.
I have
She's there Monday.
Red Kings since
Get you,
old
playing
lady
for
back.
life.
Gary out of Virginia.
So, I got my
I'm gonna
1,000
say
nights.
maybe 1980.
Oh hell, you need to go see that new stadium. It's nice.
Is that something to be proud of?
I haven't been to a Reds game since I lost strike.
I was there.
This guy.
Oh yeah, so I've been just talking to her a lot lately. It's kind of good. Which one? The first one or the
Still
second?
got a,
No,
still got
they
a
had
lot
a
on
strike,
life
and I
and
said, "Oh, I'm done."
They had a strike in the early 80s, and then they had another strike in the 90s.
Yeah, we had
She
season
says
tickets.
Mondays are usually the Mondays that she can.
She hasn't been there since
Other
birth.
than that, she's worked.
Right?
Riverfront Stadium.
My son went there
Every now and then.
Saturday.
Oh, that's what we do too.
Like Gary said, he lost.
Yeah, that's all. I just been kind of texting back and forth with her
That's gambling or somewhere down there.
being there.
Make
It's
them all
great
mad.
and all. I think it's helped.
Really fun trip.
It was good.
Parents and children who were doing some traveling, soccer, basketball, I don't know what I do.
My mom,
It's like I'm a
They
freak.
tried to
I
take it for her.
have known her since I can remember missing a game on TV.
Yeah.
They get hurt.
Yep. Pillow fight!
Sat there and she wants to watch them Reds.
I'm old school. I would rather listen to them because, I mean, when we were young, we watched 2-3 games a year. That was sure. So all we could do is listen to them anyway. So I flip on down in the yard, turn my speaker on, and I just listen to them.
Here's
Well,
that.
yeah, but parents get some dirt after they closed it.
Oh, yeah, the Sunday ticket thing?
I'm Greg, alcoholic.
Hi, Greg.
Like to welcome everyone to the Coldwater Friday night meeting of Alcoholics Anonymous. Those that wish may join me in a moment of silence for those alcoholics still out there suffering, followed by the serenity prayer. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. And our friend Steve's going to read the preamble.
I'm Steve, alcoholic. Steve, hi everybody. Preamble of AA. Alcoholics Anonymous is a fellowship of men and women, of people who share their experience, strength, and hope with each other that they may solve the common problems to help others to recover from alcoholism. The only requirement for membership is a desire to stop drinking. There are no dues or fees for AA membership, and we are self-supporting through our own contributions. AA is not allied with any sect, denomination, politics, organization, or institution, does not wish to engage in any controversy, neither endorses nor opposes any cause. Our primary purpose is to stay sober and help other alcoholics to achieve sobriety. Thanks.
Thanks, Steve.
Thanks, Steve. I've asked our friend Richard how to read how it works.
Merchant alcoholic. How it works. Rarely have we seen a person fail who has thoroughly followed our path. Those who do not recover are people who cannot or will not completely give themselves to this simple program. Usually men and women who are constitutionally incapable of being honest with themselves. There are such unfortunates. They are not at fault. They seem to have been born that way. They are naturally incapable of grasping and developing a manner of living which demands rigorous honesty. Their chances are less than average. There are those too who suffer from grave emotional and mental disorders, but many of them do recover if they have the capacity to be honest. Our stories disclose in a general way what we used to be like, what happened, and what we are like now. If you have decided you want what we have and are willing to go to any length to get it, then you're ready to take certain steps. Some of these we thought we could find an easier, softer way, but we could not. With all the earnestness at our command and big up we do, we fairly sent thorough from the very start. So we tried to hold on to our old ideas, and the result was nil until we let go absolutely. Remember that we deal with alcohol, cunning, baffling, powerful. Without help, it is too much for us. But there's one who has all power. The one that is God, and we can fight him now. Have mercy of others, nothing. The certain turning point. We ask his protection and care with complete abandon. Here are the steps we took which are suggested as a program of recovery. 1. We admitted we were powerless over alcohol, that our lives had become unmanageable. 2. Came to believe that the power of raising ourselves could be a source of sanity. 3. Made a decision to turn our will and our lives over to the care of God as we understood it. 4. Made a searching and fearless moral inventory of ourselves. 5. Admitted to God, to ourselves, and to another human being the exact nature of our wrongs. 6. We're entirely ready to have God remove all his defects of character. 7. Humbly asked him to remove our shortcomings. 8. Made us of all persons we had harmed and became willing to make amends to them all. 9. Made direct amends to such people wherever possible, except when to do so would injure them or others. 10. Continued to take personal inventory. When we were wrong, promptly admitted it. 11. Sought through prayer and meditation to improve our conscious contact with God as we understood him, praying only for knowledge of his will for us and the power to carry that out. 12. Having had a spiritual awakening as the result of these steps, we try to carry this message to alcoholics and to practice these principles in all our affairs. Many of us exclaim, what a motor, I can't go through with it. Do not be discouraged. No one among us has been able to maintain anything like perfect adherence to these principles. We are not saints. The point is that we are willing to grow along spiritual lines. The principles we have set down are guides to progress. We claim spiritual progress rather than spiritual perfection. Our description of the alcoholic, the chapter to the agnostic, and personal adventures before and after make clear 3 pertinent ideas. A. That we are alcoholics and cannot measure our own lives. B. That probably the human power cannot relieve our alcoholism. C. That God couldn't when he first saw it.
Thanks, Richard. I've asked our friend Marvin to read AA promises.
My name is Marvin, I'm an alcoholic.
Hey, Marvin.
The promises, the spiritual life is not a theory. We have to live it. Unless one's family expresses a desire to live upon spiritual principles, we think we ought not urge them. We should not talk incessantly to them about spiritual matters. They will change in time. Our behavior will convince them more than our words. We must remember that 10 or 20 years of drunkenness would make a skeptic out of anyone. There may be some wrongs we can never fully right. We don't worry about them if we can honestly say to ourselves that we would write them if we could. Some people cannot be seen. We send them an honest letter. And there may be a valid reason for postponement in some cases, but we don't delay if it can be avoided. We should be sensible, tactful, considerate, and humble without being servile or scrapping. As God's people, we stand on our feet. We don't fall before anyone. If we are painstaking about this phase of our development, we will be amazed before we are halfway through. We want to know a new freedom and a new happiness. We will not regret the past nor wish to shut the door on it. We will comprehend the word serenity and we will know peace. No matter how far down the scale we have gone, we will see how our experience can benefit others. That feeling of uselessness and self-pity will disappear. We will lose interest in selfish things and gain interest in our fellows. Self-seeking will slip away. Our whole attitude and outlook upon life will change. Fear of people and of economic insecurity will leave us. We will intuitively know how to handle situations which used to baffle us. Are these extravagant promises?
We think not.
They are being fulfilled among us, sometimes quickly, sometimes slowly. They will always materialize if we work for them.
Thanks, Marvin. I've asked my friend Tom to read the 12 traditions.
Tom, alcoholic.
Tom.
These are AA 12 traditions. 1. Our common welfare should come first. Personal recovery depends upon AA unity. 2. For our group purpose, there is but one ultimate authority. A loving God expressing himself in our group conscience. Our leaders express his sense and like God. 3. The only requirement for AA membership is the desire to stop drinking. 4. Each group should be autonomous, except in matters affecting other groups or AA as a whole. 5. Each group has but one primary purpose, to carry its message to the alcoholics who still suffer. 6. An AA group ought never endorse, finance, or lend the AA name to any related to outside enterprise. I'm sorry. Not lend the A name to any related facility or outside enterprise. Less problems of money, property, and prestige divert us from our primary purpose. 7. Every A group ought to be fully self-supporting, declining outside contributions. 8. Alcoholics Anonymous should remain forever non-professional, but our service centers may employ special workers. 9. A, I said that, I say, oh, my tongue today. A, as such, ought never be organized, but we may create service boards and committees directly responsible to those they serve. 10. Alcoholics Anonymous has no opinion outside issues, hence the A name ought never be drawn to public controversy. 11. Our public relations policy is based on attraction rather than promotion. We need to always maintain personal anonymity at the low press rating with films. 12. Anonymity is the spiritual foundation of all our traditions, ever reminding us to place principles before personalities.
Thanks, Tom.
Thanks, Tom. I've asked our friend Wes to read from the Daily Reflections.
June 28th, correct?
Yep.
The determination of our founders. A year and 6 months later, these 3 had succeeded with 7 more. Alcoholics Anonymous did them for today. If it had not been for the fierce determination of our founders, AA would have quickly faded like so many other so-called good causes. I look at the hundreds of meetings weekly in the city where I live, and I know AA is available 24 hours a day. If I had had to hang on with nothing but hope and a desire not to drink, experiencing rejection wherever I went, I would have sought the easier, softer way and returned to my previous way of life.
Thank you, Wes.
Thanks,
Thanks,
Wes.
Wes.
I've asked our friend Paul to read from the 24-hour book.
Hi everyone, I'm Paul, now
Hey,
Paul.
Paul.
June 28th, thought for today. You can prove to yourself that life is basically and fundamentally an inner attitude. Just try to remember what troubled you most a week ago. You probably find it difficult to remember. Why then should it unduly worry about or fret over the problems that arise today? Your attitude toward them can be changed by putting yourself and your problem in God's hands and trusting Him to see that everything will turn out all right, provided you are trying to do the right thing. Your changed mental attitude towards the problems relieves you of their burden, and you can face them without fear. And my mental attitude changed. Meditation for the day. You cannot see the future. It's a blessing that you cannot. You cannot bear to know all the future. That is why God only reveals it to you day by day. The first step each day is to lay your will before God as an offering, ready for God to do what is best for you. Be sure that if you trust God, what He does for you will be for the best. The second step is to be confident that God is powerful enough to do anything He wills, and that no miracle in human lives is impossible with Him. Then leave the future to God. Prayer for today. I pray that I may gladly leave my future in God's hand. I pray that I may be confident that good things will happen as long as I am on the right path.
Thanks, Paul.
Thanks, Paul. I'll pass the 7th tradition basket. If everyone has a court slip that they need signed, place it in the basket. You'll get it back after the meeting. I'll go over some of the announcements. We have registration forms up here for men's recovery retreat at the Spiritual Center of Maria Stein.
Can I have one?
Yep. It's at 2365 St. John's Road, Maria Stein, Friday, July 19th through Sunday, July 21st. There's the annual bash at Pine Lake, Saturday, July 20th, 4640 West State Road 218, Bern, Indiana. Meet at the park. The park opens at 10.
Bring trying to figure out how to do both.
Bring your family and friends. Swim or don't swim, play, hang out with friends. Fellowship is free. We'll start the grill at 2. Meat provided. Bring drinks in a covered dish. The first annual District 30 Old Timers Panel Picnic and Sobriety Countdown is Saturday, August 24th from 2 to 4 p.m. at Meadow Park Church, 2425 Bethel Road, Columbus. Please bring a side dish to share. And New Bremen AA meeting anniversary is Monday, August 5th, 2024. We will be having pizza to celebrate 20 years for the group. Soft drinks and water will also be provided. Food and fellowship at 11:30, meeting at noon. That's at the Alliance Community Center, 212 South Walnut Street, New Bremen, Ohio. The District 23 gathering is August 17th at KC Geiger Park, 170 East Greenville Road, St. Mary's, Ohio. Use the east entrance and park by the basketball court, shelter house, or the shelter house by the pickleball courts. Meet at noon, eat at 1 p.m., bring a covered dish and a friend. Hamburgers, hot dogs, pop, and water are provided. There will be cornhole, mini golf, and disc golf.
I haven't been over to St. Mary's recently. That's just a beautiful park.
It is.
Build a paper mill Eastville.
Save the date for the 68th Ohio State Convention. That's at the Doubletree by Hilton Hotel in Cleveland, or it's 6200 Quarry Lane, Independence, Ohio. The theme is Our Great Responsibility. The convention is from August 23rd to the 25th. Friday from 7 to 9:30 p.m., Saturday all day, Sunday from 9 to noon. There'll be speakers, workshops, panels, and fellowship. And then lastly, we have the AA and Al-Anon QR code. I've asked our friend Gary to explain the token system.
I'm Gary, an alcoholic. It's cool where they have a token system. First token is the beginner's token. Is anybody here for the first meeting since your last drink? Anybody celebrating 1 month continued sobriety? 1 to 3, 3 to 6, 6 to 9, 9 to 1 year. We have monthly tokens. Month of sobriety. Everybody got any sobriety wasn't recognized? You all have today.
Okay, I'm sorry, I forgot to ask if there were any announcements from the floor.
July 20. Same weekend as the spiritual retreat.
Okay, this is a lead